So I've been on the eBay again, and this time it's my first Nikon. I'm kind of fascinated with that era, mid to late 80s, when camera technology started to really change. And this Nikon F-501 is Nikon's first autofocus SLR camera. So I picked this little beauty up as untested, spares or repairs from eBay for the princely sum of £2.99, and let's take a look around it and see how we got on with it. So this camera came to me in pretty tidy condition. I've given it a bit of a clean up, but it was not bad at all really. Now it didn't work when I got it, and it was the usual suspects: battery contacts, and I used the white vinegar on the contacts to clean them up. Here's the battery compartment here with a little flat blade screw to access 4 AAA batteries. Well, they're a readily available battery size, which is really good. And I found there was quite a lot of corrosion. Obviously some of the previous batteries had spilt out, and with a few vigorous goes I managed to spring the thing back into life. You can see on the bottom of the camera there's, apart from that battery access screw, there's the tripod mount. If we use a coin to open this up, I can show you roughly what I found. So we have a little holder that takes the 4 AAA batteries, and I found that there was quite a lot of corrosion at both ends here, but particularly here. There's a little tab where you can pull the holder out, and I just gave it a really good clean up. This end, a bit of scraping, and this end was okay. And you pop there's a little white dot here, and you can see you have to line up the dots, one there to get the holder back in. Pretty clean inside, as you can see. Put that back on. Do him up. So when I first switched it on, after the cleaning, I'd obviously left some liquid getting in the way still, some of the vinegar, and so when I turned it on it was still playing up a bit, but I dried everything out and then it started working properly. You actually turn the camera on. Well, let's have a look around first, see what we've got in detail. What you have on the top is the following. You have the shutter button here. There's a collar around the shutter button that controls these 3 modes. So it's in a locked position, which is red. The next one down is single shot, S for single shot. Get a bit closer. S for single shot, and then C for continuous. So it'll give you a multiple. I think it's about 4 frames a second, something like that. Not too bad. Next along here you have a little switch where you can turn on or off the beeps that you get, depending on what your appetite around the intrusive noises is. Then you have the very clear shutter speed select dial. You can see on there's everything from bulb through to 0.002 of a second, which is really good. Then there's an auto mode, fully automatic, which is effectively aperture priority, and there are 3 program modes. So you've got quite a lot of versatility here within this camera. There's a hot shoe there. There's the classic Japanese factory past symbol, and on this side you have the rewind crank. This is a manual rewind camera, so once you've completed your film you do have to unlock the pivots and manually rewind it. You've also got, quite helpfully on there's some exposure control, plus or minus 2 stops. You can see a little red LED that comes on when you gain focus or to indicate when there's a problem. And then you also have your ISO dial there. Now this camera will recognise camera speeds. So you can either have it to an automatic setting or you can change the ISO to suit. That's pretty much everything on the top. On the front of the camera there's your lovely black and red, indicative of this era, the 80s. And you have here a series of exposure locks, automatic exposure lock and automatic focus lock. This is quite a sophisticated camera. There's your infrared light, branding, the lens access, you can see the mirror in the background there, and this takes all of the AF Nikon lenses plus the earlier AI and AIS lenses, so it's really quite useful from that point of view. Yes, so we said it's an autofocus camera, and here you have various focusing modes. So you've got a dial here that enables you to switch between manual, continuous and single focus. There's your lens release button. Yeah, this is the button here that I had difficulties with. So this little red button here is actually your self-timer, and you press that in and you get up to 10 seconds for self-timing for your selfies. The problem I had was that I think there was a little bit of liquid had got in there, and so the self-timer was going off all the time. There's your strap lugs. So there's your viewfinder. So you get indicator lights when you've achieved, well no, just to tell you what the aperture is and the speed rather, speed only. And there's also when you're on manual mode you get a focus confirm light, which is really, when you're on manual focus, really useful. It's just the other lens I used is this beautiful 50mm AIS, 1.4 in fact. It's the Nikon from the 1980s, I think. Beautiful, beautiful lens, one of the best. And yeah, this one obviously is manual focus, but some pretty amazing results normally. So for that, we'd need to have it on the manual focus setting here. So, what else can I tell you about this lovely piece of technology from 1986, 1985 I think. Well, it takes bagging good pictures, as I found out after I put a few rolls of HP5 and Kentmere 400 through. These are the results I got.